Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So lately I've just been sitting down and pre-filming a lot of my story times. But anyways, today's story time is going to be about my extremely toxic relationship. So let's just get straight into today's story time. So this all started whenever I was in 3rd grade. It was the first day of school, and I had noticed this girl in my class that I kind of noticed around before. And I know she was on my bus, I just never talked to her. And we were going to call this girl Elle. Well, eventually, somehow, Elle and I end up talking. And we actually slowly became friends because one of my close friends, who we were going to call Alondra was really, really good friends with Elle and me, but we just weren't, all hanging out together because Elle and I didn't really, know each other. And eventually, Alondra kind of, helped that. She was like, hey, I'm introducing you guys to each other, and we're like, okay. And then when she did, we ended up becoming really, really good friends. And we would always hang out in class all together. We would always work on projects together, or sometimes they would work on projects, and I would work on a project with somebody else. It was pretty much going okay. We would hang out, we would text after school. It was really fun and games until around 5th grade. So at the beginning of 5th grade, there was this cat that kept coming around my mom's work. And this cat was so sick. It was on the verge of death. And whoever pretty much owned it, pretty much technically didn't own it because this cat was starved. This cat was really skinny, really underweight, was infested in fleas. This poor cat was on the thing of death. So my mom's boss decided to let them house it for a little bit, feed it, take care of it. And they would all take turns paying for vet bills, getting it to the vet and everything. And eventually my mom's boss said, okay, I don't know why he said this. I'm pretty sure there was a good reason behind it, but he's like, hey, we can't keep this cat anymore, so who's going to take it home? And my mom was like, well, I'll take it home. And the one day we went and we caught the cat. And we're going to call this cat Misty because that's pretty much what the name was. And the one day I got home from school and my mom's like, someone's waiting for you upstairs. I go into my room and I see Misty laying on my bed. And ever since that day, she became my cat. And we would, this cat was with me everywhere. We would always play, string and everything, before school. I just love this cat with all my heart. But fast forward to the end of 5th grade, and it's the very last day of school. And I woke up to get ready, but I had noticed that Misty was really sick. And I was just praying to God that this would pass, but it was obvious she was dying because she literally, this poor cat, it was obvious she was dying. I just knew in my heart she was dying. And I did not go to school. I stayed with her. And then eventually she ended up passing away later that night. And I obviously told Elle and Alondra about this because they were my best friends. And Alondra comforted me a little bit. But Elle was just like, haha, yeah, she kind of did. But, other than that, it was just kind of brushed off. And ever since then, I just didn't really, try to talk about Misty a lot because I was just heartbroken. I loved this cat. Well, at the beginning of 6th grade, I had slowly noticed that Elle was becoming a bit toxic. So I had pretty much met this one girl, right? And we are going to we'll call her Bailey. So, it was me, Bailey, we would always hang out. We met in, facts class, but we weren't sure of each other at first, but, we would always talk and make jokes and pretty much be friendly to each other. And then eventually we became really good friends, and we had this lunch table, right? And so I was like, hey, you should come sit at the lunch table with us. We're always joking around, it's pretty fun. She's like, okay, and then she brought some of her friends at the lunch table, too, and we just became one big friend group ever since then. And it was pretty fun, honestly. Except for all the time when we were at the lunch table, every single day, I kid you not, we would always be getting into fights about, I don't even know what it was about, but we just always got into fights. It was a new fight every day about some dumb bullshit, and, I obviously, like, I was crazy back then. Like, I was literally psycho. So, when everybody was going off, I would just go off at them and be like, shut the fuck up, like, this and that. And lunch ladies would look at me and they'd be like, what the f is wrong with her? And it was just not fun. Okay, like, I literally hated that lunch table. I still do to this day. We did have some good memories, though. But also, keep in mind that Al had sat at the lunch table. So, pretty much at this lunch table, it was me, Al, and then it was, I'm not even sure what I named her. I can't remember what I named her. But pretty much the girl I met in Facts class, we're just going to call her T. Okay, we're just going to call her T at this point, because I can't even remember what name I gave to her. My memory's literally that bad. And then it was T's friends, which were, we're going to call them M and O. So, pretty much, and then there was this other girl, too, who we were going to call R, and then there was this other girl who we're going to call A, and A and R, like, they were best friends, but they were so snobby and just ignorant, and I literally hated them. Still do to this day. Like, they would make fun of people who died. They would be like, oh, haha, like, I'm glad your cat died. Like, they were, like, literal assholes, okay? That's pretty much whenever I had noticed that Elle had slowly started to become toxic. Like, she would always just kind of be like, oh, haha, like, shut up. Like, I wasn't talking to you, to me. And it was just, like, annoying as hell. It's just like, bro. And I wasn't asking for you to be a bitch. Period. And it low-key pissed me off, but back then, I took that type of shit. Now, girl, I would drop you, and I would just move on. But pretty much, you know, that was my everyday life, you know, was getting pushed around by this little bitch. And everybody else, I kind of noticed it, but they never said anything, which, honestly, I don't even care. Like, don't say anything. Like, it's not even your problem to begin with. It's mine. And then, eventually, pretty much, me, L, and T, we would always FaceTime, like, after school. And we would always, like, be on call together, and they would just kind of, like, talk without me. And they just kind of, like, pretty much forget I was there. And sometimes we would all, like, hang out, and then they'd be like, oh, haha, sorry, I forgot you were there. Like, that type of shit. And it's just like, bro. Like, seriously? Like, seriously? So I kind of distanced myself from them. But eventually, fast forward to, I don't know, about halfway through the school year, probably, like, I don't know, honestly, like, February, March, actually, me and Al and everyone, I don't even know how it happened, and I don't even like her like that, but Al and I somehow started dating. And let me tell you, this relationship was not fun at all, okay? Like, this is when shit really just got worse. Like, when we were dating, she would 24/7 be like, oh my god, talk to me, or I'm gonna unalive myself. And I was just like, bro. Seriously. Just seriously. It was so annoying. And I would just sit there, and I would cry every night because she's like, oh, I have the, like, knife up to my throat. Oh, I have the rope ready. I was just pissed off. And it was just like, are you serious? And then, like, sometimes when I, like, showed any signs that I was, like, depressed, she'd be like, oh my god, hi, you're so psycho. Then what are you? What are you, girl? And it was so annoying. It was just like, bro, like, are you serious? Like, I'm not trying to deal with this. I'm literally in 6th grade. I just want to eat chicken nuggets and sleep. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, girl. And, you know, but she didn't get that hint. And I had to deal with her every fucking day. So, that was great. And she'd be like, oh, like, I'm gonna kill myself. But one day, okay, kind of trigger warning for self-harm. Skip to the next, like, 30 seconds of this video. But pretty much, I'm gonna sum it up real quick. But anyway, she had found this picture on Google, sent it to us, and was like, haha, I cut myself again. And it was a picture of a girl with cuts bleeding. Yeah. But anyway, I decided, you know what? Fuck this. I kind of want to break up with her. And it's not even that, but she'd be like, oh, haha, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to T. Or like, oh, haha, like, sorry, but I was not talking to you. And it's just like, okay, like, goddamn, I was trying to talk to you, but alright, be a bitch then. And I really need to blend this out a little bit. Also, yes, by the way, this is supposed to look this messy. I'm doing this on purpose, but anyway. And I was just getting super fed up with life at this point. I was going through a lot, and anytime I tried to talk to her about my problems, she would brush them off, and then she'd be like, oh, hi, I don't want you talking to this person, I don't want you talking to that person. Pretty much just being a controlling, ignorant bitch to me. And me now, she was lucky she wouldn't do that to me now, because she would have got bitch slapped. But anyway, you know, I dealt with it for a while. It was pretty much everyday life. You know, I was used to it. Even when people do this to me to this day, I still think it's normal, because it's just like, I'm going to have to clean that up. But it's just like, I've just been through it so much, you know what I mean? One thing that people did not understand when I told them about the situation, they'd be like, oh, break up with her. But them type of people, though, they did not understand. Like, I was too much of a sweetheart back then to hurt somebody. So I just kind of dealt with the pain, honestly. And this is how I used to be last year, but now I'm not about to deal with shit. If you put me through a lot of shit, girl, good for you. You're no longer my friend. You're no longer in my life. Period. I don't know. I was just too much of a sweetheart, I guess, to be like, oh, haha, like, you hurt me, like, it's done. But pretty much, yeah, a little, like, thing, though, is that, like, the one day, okay, I was talking to T, and I was like, I don't know, like, I think I want to break up with her, and she was like, oh, well, like, that's funny you say that, and I'm like, why? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, she's going around the school saying that she wants to break up with you. And so I texted her the other day, and I'm like, hey, like, I don't think this is working out. I want to break up. And she's like, oh, my God, what? No, why? And I was like, I didn't even decide to mention it because they kept telling me, like, don't tell her that you know, that we told you. And it just wasn't fun, okay? Like, I really wanted this relationship to end because cry every night. I would literally, like, hate myself even more than I already did. And I just wanted this relationship to end, but I was too much of a sweetheart, as I said. With that being said, we pretty much stayed together until a week later when she broke up with me. Like, I literally think this girl just loved to hurt me. Like, I think that's what it was. Like, literally. Like, she just loved and loved to bring me down and treat me like shit, and I was tired of being treated like a fucking animal and being made out to be the crazy woman, because she kind of, like, tried to pin it on me, like, oh, well, you didn't talk to me, so I cut myself again. Things like that, like, and another thing I had noticed during this friendship, too, ever since Misty died, she had a calico cat, too. Keep in mind, that was the type of cat that Misty was. She had a calico cat, too, right? Well, pretty much, she kept saying, oh, my God, haha, Calico Cat's name is cuddling with me. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And send pictures 24/7. And this went on like almost every day. And I had suspected that she was trying to make me jealous, but I ended up getting later confirmation. But the one day, it was the end of the school year, and we had been dating for like we had been dating for 3 months at that point, okay? And she was like kind of being distant from me, and I was talking to one of my good friends. Literally love her, by the way. Like, she's such a queen. I was talking to her, and I was like, yeah, like, she's being so fucking distant. Like, I just want out of this damn relationship. Because this was, like, right before we broke up. I forgot to add this in here, but this was, like, right before we broke up, so we were still in a relationship, and then, like, then I found out about all that. I got my timeline a little mixed up, because this was years ago, okay? Like, period. But anyway, and she was like, yeah, like, I kind of noticed that too. She's been more close to O lately. And funny thing, we say that because we're laying on the track and in the grass and everything after we run this, like, mile for a fundraiser, because that's what we were doing at the time. And I had noticed that she had her legs all over O, and even was, like, resting her head on her and everything. Pretty much cuddling, okay? And obviously, like, 6th grade me thought that was cheating. I mean, it kind of is. It depends on what people think is cheating, okay? Like, and then they noticed I saw them, and so they moved, and I was pissed off. But then, as I said, later that week, we ended up breaking up anyway. So then it was just awkward, so we didn't really talk to each other. But then she texted me the one day and was like, hey, like, I'm sorry. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Until T, I almost said her real name, T gets this wonderful decision that we should make a fake Discord account and text her and be like, and pretty much just like act like one of my old friends and just talk shit about me to see if she has any actual shit to say. And pretty much kind of like, I don't know what the goal of this fake account really was, but we just made it. And this fake account's name we're going to call K. So pretty much T gives me the account and I go on and I add her and she adds me back and I text her and I'm like, oh my god, hey girl, like I'm one of your ex's like old friends. I heard you're a really good friend. Like I just wanted, to say hi and everything. And she's like, oh, hi. Like I don't even know how she didn't think it was weird that I somehow like got her Discord or whatever. Well, Kay somehow got her Discord. But anyway, she didn't even ask, honestly. And pretty much we had a conversation, but the conversation mostly revolved around me. Because as Kay, I'd be like, so. Because I know, like, she told me to kill myself multiple times. She told me to unalive myself a lot of times. So I was like, so, like, do you, like, want her to, like, off herself and everything? And Al goes, not gonna lie, kinda. And I was just like, what the actual hell's wrong with this bitch? But I kept playing as Kay because I needed all the receipts. And I was taking screenshots as we went. And Kay was like, well, all she does is talk about, like, her stupid mom and cheer, and she's just so fucking annoying. And, yeah, and then pretty much, L was like, yeah, like, I feel you, like, her fucking cat died, and she's been a little bitch ever since, and pretty much, I've been pretty much just rubbing my cat in her face to make her feel bad. She literally admitted to it. And so I was like, what the actual hell? And then she was like, well, she has trust issues. Funny thing I said that I have trust issues as Kay was because literally and everybody else was talking shit in the friend group. Like, listen to this bullshit. The one day when I went to go set the lunch table, I went to go take my tray up because I was done eating and it was time to take our trays up, right? Well, listen to this bullshit. So I had this diary at the time, and this diary had all my deepest, darkest secrets in it. And literally everything going on in my home life. I would write about how I was feeling, how much I was going through a lot. Just pretty much everything. Like, this diary was like, it had all my deepest, darkest secrets in it. And I find that funny because I go back from taking the tray up, and Elle has this note in her hand, and I have to look over at the note for a quick second. I see it has my name on it, and she gives it to one of her friends that isn't, like, at the lunch table. And so I'm like, oh, what the fuck, okay, that's weird. And then I go back to the lunch table because we kind of ran into each other, and then I literally see everybody sitting around my fucking diary reading it. They're reading my diary. They're reading all my personal shit. So I sit there and I'm like, and they're like, oh, hey, we were just looking through your diary. And I was like, girl, really? Really? Like, the disrespect. Honestly. The disrespect. I was pissed off. And I just kind of, like, let it go because I didn't know how to confront them. But, yeah, that was just another time that she pretty much just stabbed me in the fucking back. Same with everybody else because the friend group was literal trash. And then, at the end of my 6th grade year, I had also met this girl, and we're going to call her C. Well, I really liked C, like, a lot. And I was going to ask her out at school the one day, but she wasn't there. And then I was going to do it Friday, but I kind of chickened out because I was scared. But I was in study hall that day, and my friend that was on the track with me that day, talking about, C and not C, L, she was like, yeah, like, she likes you too, like, you should totally go for her, and I got super excited, and funny thing, because Al decided to stab me in the back, I pretty much asked C out in front of Al, and the look on her face just said it all, like, she was upset, but I honestly did not give a single shit. You want to stab me in the back, this is what you get. Well, eventually school ends, and C and I are dating, and then, because, like, me and Elle, like, we were still, like, not really talking too much, but we would sit on the bus together and everything. We weren't talking, like, too much, but, she's, like, texted me the one day, and Kylie, I had stopped the Kylie account at this point, because the one day, I was like, so, if you hate her so much, SK, I accidentally said the name of the account. We're just gonna say it. It's Kylie, okay? It's Kylie. Like, everybody's gonna know who I'm talking about in this story time anyway. So yeah, it's Kylie. So me as Kylie, I texted her and I was like, so if you hate her so much, why don't you go to her house and kick her? You live like right around the block from her. And she's like, alright, bet I'll do it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow rolls around, okay? And literally, she chickens out. She asked me, like, that night, like, if like she'd come to my house for a minute, and wasn't really talking to her, so I was weirded out. And I knew what she was gonna do because I was the one behind the Kylie account. And pretty much, she chickens out the next day, and she's like, hey, like, I can't do it. And then she texts me off, like, my actual account, and she's like, hey, like, sorry, I'm not gonna come to your house today. And I was like, alright. Like, I was weirded out. I had to pretend to be weirded out to, like, not let her know that I know what's going on. I'm not stupid. But pretty much, I had to kind of be stupid because she would have found out. She would have been like, what the actual hell? And then it just would have been a mess from there. And I did not want her to find out about this account yet until the one day when I confronted her. So we kind of made up that day, right? And then eventually I said, oh, also, I don't know why I just made up to you, and I sent all the screenshots into the group chat, because, as I said earlier in the story time, me, L, and T, we had this group chat, and pretty much, I sent all the screenshots of the Kylie account talking to her, and I was like, well, I was Kylie all along, and thanks for being a fucking shitty bitch. And she was like, yeah, like, if my cat died, I want to be as fucked up as you are, like, you should go kill yourself, you're the one that should have died, and just stuff like that. And I was like, where's all this coming from? Where's all this coming from? Because when you had no one else wanted to talk to your crusty ass, girl, I'm so sorry, my camera stopped recording, but pretty much, I was like, super pissed off, and we just got in a fight, and I find it funny because T was taking all the screenshots of the conversation, sending all the receipts to everybody, and I was just going off, like, I did not shut up. And she's like, well, yeah, as I said, you're the one that should have died. And I was like, well, at least I didn't threaten to kill myself every time my girlfriend, who doesn't even like me, doesn't talk to me. And then she shut the fuck up. She just shut the fuck up. And I was like, period. Like, I don't even like you. Like, thank God you're out of my life. So, with that being said, I sat there crying forever because this bitch literally said some hurtful shit about my family, about a lot of shit, okay, as I said, and I was just pissed off. Like, I'm just honestly glad that bitch was out of my life, though. And funny thing, she ended up dating O not that long after. Like, literally not even that long after. And her and O, they would talk shit about me, saying how much trust issues I have, like, how it's kind of my fault, and it's just like, how is this my fault when literally Al was like a toxic piece of shit? Okay, like, that is not my problem, girl. That is not my problem. It's not my problem, literally, whatsoever. So, I just kind of never really talked to Al again. That was, like, the last time we ever kind of, like, actually, like, fought, because I was done with her ass at that point. We were done with each other, and period. Like, I just wanted out of that fake ass fucking relationship. Like, and then she'd be like, a lot of times, like, another thing I find so fucking disgusting. Like, listen to this bullshit. So we have multiple sleepovers, right? Well, she didn't tell me until after she slept over my house that she only showers once a week. And she was on my bed sheets. So I washed my bed so fucking good after that. It was like, I was so fucking disgusted. I'm not a type of person to judge, but like, you don't have good self-hygiene and you slept on my bed. That's disgusting. So I obviously washed my bed so good. I literally washed my bed sheets, I kid you not, like at least 10 times that week. And I'm counting. Okay? Like, it was disgusting. And I would always keep up on washing my bed, like, anyway. But knowing that, I literally, like, washing my bed was like a literal hobby at that point, girl. Like, I was just, it was disgusting. The most I've ever honestly gone without a shower is like, I don't know, like 5 days, because I was extremely depressed and I was really down. But literally, it just pissed me off because it's just like, bro, you are going to tell me when you've been in my room, you've been all over my bed sheets, and she also told me that when she was sitting right next to me on the bus. Just a little funny thing. That was like when we were dating, and my guy friend was on that bus, and he heard, and he was like, ew, what the fuck? And then he turns to me, and he was like, well, I wouldn't leave her if I were you. And she looks at him like, are you serious? Like, and I was gross out. Like, I was literally disgusted. But, you know, I didn't want to seem like a bad person to her, because honestly, like, we've been best friends for all this time, and I didn't think she would actually do this to me, but yep, she stabbed me in the back so many fucking times, and I'm glad that friendship is done and over with. It's been done and over with. But the funny thing is, though, yeah, her presence in my life just decided it wasn't gonna be done yet. So, with that being said, keep in mind how me and C were dating, right? Well, C had told me in the summertime that year that L had gotten a girlfriend, aka O. And O eventually later told me, because we became like good friends our 7th grade year, we just weren't like, you know what I mean? Like, we weren't like each other's friends. We were more like just kind of mutual. We had like mutual friendships. O had told me that, like, oh yeah, like she grabbed my arm so hard because she got pissed off at me and she left a bruise. And I was like, yeah, no, she has fucking issues. And I was like, you left her, right? Like, I would leave her if she did that. And it wasn't like I was trying to be fake and ruin their relationship. No, that's not what at all I was doing. I was pretty much like, yeah, like, you don't need to be in that. Like, you don't deserve that. Do much better than that, girl. Eventually, they broke up because O just had enough of her bullshit, as she should. And, funny thing, Al had nowhere to sit with. Like no place to sit in lunch. So, she got moved to our lunch table. And it was the same people at our lunch table this year, except the 2, like, other girls. I forgot what I even named them. They no longer sat with us because they were no longer our friends, but instead of them sitting with us, it was me, L, then it was T, and then it was T's good friend, M, and then it was O, and then, unfortunately, and then it was C, as I said. Did I say C or did I say L? And then it was, unfortunately, L. So, yeah, no, like, it honestly, like, she literally tried to steal C from me. And she did not try to make this shit, like, she didn't try to hide it, pretty much. And she'd be like, oh, haha, like, oh my god, you're so funny. And I would, like, play her and shit. I'm like, she's mine, you can back the fuck up. Like, that's what I was thinking. And everybody else noticed it too, and everybody else was uncomfortable. Well, C decided to kind of clap back, and she would make dirty jokes to me in front of everyone else, including L. And L would sit there like, and then whenever I was upset, Al would be like, pretending to be upset too, to get the attention to her. It was like, serious? I had never met someone like Al to this day. Actually, I met people worse than Al. I should say that. I met people worse than Al. But, and I never knew that it was even possible to meet people worse than her. And it's not like I'm, like, you know, like, saying she's, like, a bad person. Well, I mean, she just has issues, okay? We all do. At the end of the day, I have issues too, and I said shit back. So, I want you guys to know that I am no innocent angel. But yeah, now that's pretty much the story time about my crazy ex. I know I did a crazy best friend story time, and you guys literally love that story time. If you guys want me to post more story times often, I definitely will. Like, I will. Okay, like, no questions asked. Just let me know, because I will be more than happy to post more story times often. But the funny thing is that January 2020, Elle had texted me. And she was like, hey, you don't have to accept my apology, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the shit I put you through. Blocked. Pretty much, Elle kind of opened my eyes to see that I don't have to let people treat me like shit. I shouldn't let people treat me like shit. And just because they say they're sorry doesn't mean they're actually sorry. Once a backstabber, once a cheater, always a backstabber, and always a cheater. Period. So, with that being said, she is no longer in my life. We haven't talked since, and it's actually been super fucking peaceful. Well, okay, when it comes to that friend group, I'm not really in that friend group anymore because they all hang out without me and whatever, and they don't even text me anymore. So, we're, like, pretty much not friends at this point for no fucking reason. They just kind of, like, found better people than me, I guess. And I kind of miss them, but at the same time, that friend group was toxic, and I don't know why I miss them. So, with that being said, the only person I hang out with now is my boyfriend. And I'm actually I'm finally, after all this time, literally after 3 years, I'm finally in a healthy relationship. It took 3 years. Every single relationship leading up to this was toxic somehow. I was a crazy ass bitch, and that played, like, a big role in that. But, like, I'm just happy I'm finally, like, in a good relationship. Well, anyways, guys, this is the end of today's story time. If you like the story time, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and let me know what other videos you want to see down in the comments below, because this is a vlog channel, but I will be doing story times, like, every now and then. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of that, and, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm about to go take all this makeup off, get in the shower, and start my day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!